Bartail has been one of the persons who's watched all the shows. I talk to him on a regular basis in the EverQuest Next IRC channel.
What we saw with, Kunark for EQ2, you did those 400 quests, you did all the content. At the end of it, the world wasn't changed.
Yeah, I'm Phantom X. I do social media and write articles for EQ Nexus.
For the Fall of Bastion, there was a very definite, okay, this is where your story is going to fit into the world.
Listen, fluffy looking bear, thank you. Listen, I went and I killed a dragon, and then 2 drops of whiskey hit my face, and I willed this manly beard into cow was raised, yes!
Hello everyone, and welcome to the EverCast show, episode 35. It's a mutiny, the Flattus-Chuina takeover. This is gonna be... Yarr!
That is the worst.
So, for those who do not know,
Why
Tamlin and Kylest are not here with us today. Instead, I am running the show from good old Florida. I am joined by my co-host Flattus. We have Tobin Ernwood here, Mr. Rec MMO, and Legendary Neurotoxin. Say hello, everybody.
Hi.
Howdy.
Hello.
All right, and I'll give you guys a little minute to introduce yourself as well. Let's go ahead and start off with Legendary. Who are you, sir, for people who do not know?
Well, I am a person who does a lot of streaming, 45 hours a week of it. Half of that is mostly dedicated to Landmark, a little bit of H1Z1 talk show, but mostly Landmark, 2 hours daily, plus got the content creations, live feature rant, and just a lot of stuff that I'm doing. Plus the other half of my schedule is with this thing called Who's Gaming Now, and it's all sorts of demos and interviews and giveaways of new and upcoming games, and it's really a lot of fun. We see a lot of games and play a lot of games before they're even available, and super special editions of them too. So I have a lot of fun. It doesn't pay a lot of money, but I have a lot of fun. That's what I do.
Fantastic. And who are you, sir, Rec MMO?
Hey guys, I'm Rec, and I go by Rec MMO in all the right places. Long time EverQuest fanboy, Sony Games fanboy. I used to do EverQuest videos all the time, and getting back into it with some Landmark videos coming soon, and just got into streaming, and just another nerd.
Fantastic. Tobin Ernwood is here from the snowy land of Scotland.
Yep, keeping the best to last as usual. So, I'm Tobin Ernwood, as many people... Shaking your head in disappointment, come at me, 1v1 me, dare you. So, I'm Tobin Ernwood. Yo, bring it. I'm Tobin Ernwood, streamer, YouTuber, tweeter of tweets, all that good stuff. Yeah, that's me. I'm SOE fanboy, so...
Fantastic. And as always, Flattus, introduce yourself, sir.
Sure. Hi, I'm Flattus. Yar, there be a mutiny, and we've taken over the EverCast show. Hi, Chewie and I are running the show tonight, so if everything burns down, that's probably why. Just to let you guys know, we're going to jump real quick into ECast news. There's not a lot of news tonight, but as news goes, the reason why I know Kai was supposed to be here tonight, but I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter, but Tamlin and Kai left their water pipe in their house busted, and they had about 2 inches of water throughout their house, and they've been dealing with that all week, and they're at their home this weekend, and they're probably, if they're not listening,
sure, they're face palming right now.
Yeah,
have you seen Tamlin lately? He actually grew out his hair. He's looking straight Moses right now with that flood coming through.
Oh.
No.
He's here.
Oh, he is. Good. Fantastic.
Massive
flooding, yeah.
Yeah, welcome.
You should have been able to clean up faster then, right? Just kind of...
Yeah, just part the sea. They should be back. Hopefully next episode. So hopefully. If not, you're with us, fellas and ladies out there. We're sorry. But we have a great show planned, nonetheless, even though it's being run by two of the craziest people on the cast. We have a wonderful soundboard, Q Sound.
Yep. Oh, sure. Yeah.
Oh, you're supposed to have that queued up. Ready. Q Sound. It's going to be a lot of fun. I guess we can go ahead and... Oh, I'm a little loud, they're saying. I guess I'll talk like this. We can go ahead and start off the topics. Flattus, you're going to be in charge of our discussion for the first part of the night. After that, I believe Rex actually going to lead us in some talking. And unlike most episodes of the EverCast show, this is going to be a little more chillax. We don't have one topic to cover tonight. We're just going to kind of be talking about general gaming and general EverQuest news. So if you have anything that you guys want to talk about in chat, go ahead and put it in there. Always ask questions using the question tag, which I will show you. Super simple. And let's get on with it. Flattus, take it away, sir.
Hi. All right. The very first thing we're going to talk about is I don't know if you saw, but the lovely guys over at SOE kind of hinted, and it wasn't really a hint. It was made pretty much like a fun little drop that the new Robert Lassen book for lore is coming out next week. And that's pretty big, and I guarantee we will talk about it more on our next show. But I kind of wanted to throw it up to everyone. What do you think the next book's going to be about, and what do you think what race or what do you think they're going to focus on for the next book?
I hope the lore book is about the lore book. I hope it's something about the Rosong and how it formed, and a bit of backstory for it. But I would imagine that's something that they're probably going to slowly reveal through gameplay, and they wouldn't really do a lore book for. Robert Lassen, he was the one that did all of the Dark Elf stuff and the Dark Elf and the High Elf sort of thing. So
it was like 50-50, yeah.
I would imagine he's going to be doing something more along those lines. Maybe the book about the Dark Elves coming back and meeting with the other elves and being like, hey, so I know we look all dark now, but we're still all elves and stuff, right?
Right? No. Right. No, get in the prison. We don't like you anymore. Yeah. No, that's cool. I want to say that they're going to introduce a new race with it. I'm going to go with, let's hear the backstory of dwarves. We haven't really heard anything. I believe there was that a gnome thief or a dwarf thief? And,
it was
the Stars of Home.
Yeah.
It was a dwarf?
It was two dwarves.
Okay, so I would like to see some actual backstory into the dwarves. That would be pretty cool to see. And I'm sure Brass would love that.
Who wouldn't love that? Let's be real.
Well, isn't there voting going on right now?
Yeah, it's between orcs and dwarves.
Yeah. Who did you guys vote for?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no. Here we go. Unpopular opinion.
Oh, poor dwarves. They're not going to win this one either.
Dwarves got wrecked.
Well, I didn't vote for the dwarves. I'll come out and say it. I said down with dwarves. No, I did. I actually voted for the dwarves because I felt bad. The past two, I voted against the dwarves, so I figured, hell, I'll go ahead and give them a shot. I'll go ahead and click dwarves, but yeah. It happens. Dwarves, they're too stunted to actually become a race.
Do you guys think the ogre architecture is really going to be that interesting? Because in EQ1 at least, it's totally not. Although if you watch Buzz's latest video, he tours some of the EQ1 Karen places, and they were super boring as well, and they totally turned that around with this game. So hopefully they can do the same thing.
Yeah, maybe that's why people keep voting doors, because they completely it's gonna be, we know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be mountain halls. It's gonna be stuff like that. But maybe it's not. Maybe it's super intricate and stuff where it's gonna force people to really push up their game, carving out of mountains and stuff people I've seen people carve statues, but now it's time to really step up their game and see what they got. And maybe that scares people a little bit. We can't do we can build buildings, but let's carve it out of mountains.
It's not that difficult, really. To be honest, I mean, it can get really kind of crappy when you're working in small, closed spaces underground, but if you start off, at least for me, when I went in to build underground, start off with clearing the giant area and then start building within, cast out a shell and then build your kind of map through it. That helped me a little bit, but I don't know. Yeah, no, I think ogres are gonna be pretty cool. We saw it was the time-lapse video for Landmark forever, ever ago. They were showing kind of like an ogre build on a mountainside, and it had giant like stone slabs. I've been someone who said that ogres are probably going to have like an Asian feel to their architecture, only because of the art that we saw from Somebody save me with the name. Garbor.
No idea what the name is.
Gabber,
You're
something.
on your own.
Well, they're the artist who
Gabor,
redid the
yeah,
original.
the one.
Gabor. Thank you. See, I was right.
I wanna say the last name's like Zitsaiv or something. Not Zaitsev, but something super. I don't even know. I've got his autograph on the wall back here.
There we go. Read it to us.
I cannot make out the lyrics. I'm sorry. I don't even know if it's English. Dude's awesome artist though. That was kind of the interesting thing. The whole story behind how he got on it and got to be the one to make the that concept art. It's a really big story, and I think Omid's the one to best tell it, because I think he was kind of the linchpin in that whole thing.
Yeah.
It was either him or Dave. It was definitely one of the two that was involved.
No, I think Omid was working with Gabor on some magic card stuff. And so he contacted him for EverQuest, yeah. But no, very cool. But anyways, if you look at the orc, it's got like it does the ogre, sorry. It has like the little mustache, and it's got an Asian look to it, right? Yeah. So I'm thinking that we'll see a mixture between like the EQ1, EQ2 stonework.
It's very Mongolian, very Mongolian.
Yeah, but they also, Tibet, they went for the Karens. That's kind of similar.
So why not? Ogres can live in yurts.
Flattus is moving into a yurt, in case you guys didn't know. I figured I'd just plaster it
I
out
don't know
there.
if I'm doing that yet. I don't know that yet. That's a long way away. But possibly. That may be my future living.
We're all going to move to yurts, I think. We're going to have an EverCast yurt. You guys are welcome to join us. It's going to be fantastic.
It's the Helsing Army compound. Everyone moves into a yurt.
It'll be great when the zombie apocalypse comes. We promise.
Yep. Sure.
I believe it's Seatsai, is how it's pronounced. I put it in chat there if anyone wants to look him up. He's got some awesome art.
He does. Yeah, he really does have a lot of crazy art.
We are buffering like crazy, but I'm not dropping any frames.
Weird. Your internet's funny.
Every day I'm buffering.
I think it's just on your end, because I have the stream up and we're okay so far.
So I guess what are the different races, talking about the lore book, that Robert Lesson has actually touched on so far? Because he's touched on just a little bit with the dwarves, a little bit with he wrote the Enemy of My Enemy, didn't he?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. So then he's had a little bit. That would be another one that I could see him having worked on recently. Dwarves, that would be another good one. That would kind of make sense with everything. I don't think erudites we're really going to hear that much about, except probably later on, or maybe in gameplay itself.
Now, do you guys think erudites are going to be a separate race, like they were in EQ1 or EQ2?
I think they might be a later unlock race, but I don't think they're going to be something we can even access from the beginning, except in very small amounts here and there in the game. Because I don't think they really like outsiders too much. I think they're pretty much, y'all were meddling with high magic. You screwed it up.
Yeah.
We don't trust you.
Yeah, no, definitely.
We don't trust anybody anymore. If your head's not this big, then...
I was gonna say, I really hope they bring back the giant head erudites again, because I really like that design. And they look like aliens in EQ2.
Yeah, but EQ1's pretty awesome too, I must say, with the erudites in EQ1. A drastic change in EQ2 from EQ1.
I gotta say, the big head erudites, it definitely makes me think, man, those guys have got a huge noggin. They gotta have some major psychic powers going on. Like, what's going on up in there? They need that much brain space.
Dude, those dudes got like some serious 8 head going
on. For me, I don't think it'll be a separate race. I think it'll be tied in with the humans. So they can tie the storyline into some crazy cult of humans that started practicing high magic, became the erudites. Because they were human in EQ1, right? I mean, they were technically an erudite race, but I think they were human in origin? Or were they not? I know that they came from Paniel, which was Lucklin, I want to say.
No, they were on
That was Otis. Thank you. Paniel and EQ2.
No,
Well, I
luckily,
think
that's where
Paniel
the
was
cats
on
came from.
Otis, or in Otis.
Oh, it was like the big city, maybe.
Otis was the continent.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why we bring EQ1 experts on this show, to bring you the latest, most correct, up-to-date news.
Except Tobert, who just typed out in chat, I know nothing about lore.
I don't know.
Well, I'll admit I haven't read any of the EQ and XD books. Like, I'm so bad about reading. I've been meaning to, though.
They're at, you know what? I gotta give them a lot of credit because the stories are really good. They're so well written. Like, I feel like those guys are getting paid to write these short stories and stuff, which is great. But like, I would pay for some of these books. There's some of them are so well written. The stories are fantastic. So I was like, and that's free. That was like, sweet, give it to me.
I'd like to see like a graphic novel.
Oh yeah,
that would be cool.
That'd be
and
awesome.
One of the guys, the guy with the long hair, I don't know his name.
Dave Georgeson?
No, one of the writers.
Oh.
It would be sad if I didn't know Dave Georgeson. I was gonna say, get out of here. You're never coming back. No, but that guy, he's done a graphic novel or two.
Oh, really? Well, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not Robert Lassen, because Robert Lassen has...
Robert Lassen has short hair, yeah. Robert Lassen's a Brit, I think. Wasn't he? Yes, a Brit. Just a southern Tobrin is all he really is. Or you're a northern Brit. I don't know. One or the other. How does that work?
SOE Live 2013, I showed up for that last panel, the lore panel, like way early, because I didn't get into the breakfast. So I'm sitting in there alone, and like the writers walk in, and they were gonna like do like a run through. They were like too embarrassed to do it in front of me, so they just left and went to breakfast. But it was cool.
That's
Drake.
really funny.
That's who it was. Drake.
Yeah. Maxwell Alexander Drake.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I like Lassen's writing better. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just the stories that he's written so far.
No,
I can't
like
say
Lassen.
I've got a preference.
I do. I like Lassen a little bit better than I like the other guy. But I gotta give credit to the other guy though. Like when it comes to combat, like describing combat, like fight scenes and stuff like that, that dude is on point. Like,
that's true.
Like his stale writing is like the verbal, but when he goes into combat and talks, like especially like the very first book that was released, and he was talking about like how when it started going through the main character's head of like how the attacks were going, like he wrote very like he knew, like he told you like it was very gruesome, like the deep cuts, the type of blood, like very like I was starting like it was like going through the book like really slow, and then all of a sudden that, and it was like he starts, I'm like, what's going on? And then I was like, oh, like I was like, that was so good. It turned real quick. I was like, this guy just needs to write combat.
That's true. No, that's true. He was I think it was he was talking about Carlin Larkos using I forgot the spell name, but he was using it on, it was like a torture spell on somebody, and the
affliction.
Affliction maybe. The description of like the guy like going down on his knees and his like eyeballs like basically popping out of his head and massive like aneurysms and stuff. It was really cool. It was. It kind of goes against everything I've seen with the art style of the game, but
I don't know if I can make a dude's eyes pop out of their head.
Yeah.
Move.
Like I don't know if we're gonna see much blood and guts at all when it comes to EverQuest, but it is cool to see the story.
More graphic than Landmark.
Oh well, yeah, definitely true, definitely true. But I guess the narrative is gonna be a little darker than the game itself, and that's kind of understandable. For us,
which is cool. You kind of want that.
Maybe.
I don't know if you want hi-ho adventure, like, yeah!
I do not.
Nope.
Settle. 3 rounds next.
Some would argue that's Landmark, yeah. Yeah, we're already
3
there.
rounds next. If that squirrel shows up, I'm punt kicking it and leaving the game.
Did you guys see, it was like one of their promo materials, they like put on this concert, it was like this boy rock band concert at like, I don't know if it was at E3, it was at one of the big conventions. If you look it up, Free Realms rock concert, they like wrote this whole rock song about Free Realms and how awesome it was and had this boy band like perform it. Look it up. Seriously, you guys will love it. You'll be singing it next show.
Didn't they have a concert in WoW, like an NPC concert, like a rock
Yeah,
show?
it is. It's called
Rogues Do It From Behind.
It's Elite Torrent. The band is called Elite Torrent Chieftain, and it's from well, God, what's his name? One of the creators of WoW has a band, and they created a fake little band in game called Elite Torrent Chieftain, and they have a couple songs in game. Like one of them is played in the middle of a dungeon. Like if you wait till the top of the hour, the band shows up in the middle of the Dark Iron bar, and they play a set. They play a good 5-minute song. And it's pretty. It is like as much as I don't want to go a bunch of WoW talk, but as much as as much as WoW does crazy over the top break the fourth wall type things in their game, having an in-game metal band was kind of funny and kind of awesome at the same time. It was always kind of nice to see them show up everywhere.
I would say they take their game only about 75-80% seriously. They have about 20 to 25% humor and comedy and WoW, and just suspend disbelief and laugh sort of things.
Yeah, I mean that's always been Blizzard's kind of motif though with gaming though. Even the old Warcraft games, you click on the orcs, they'd be like, okay, suck. Okay.
Well, then as you keep clicking them and they go through all the funny messages and stuff, that's been a standard since the original Warcraft.
Yeah, and then it showed up in StarCraft as well. I think the only serious game really was Diablo.
I think you could click on the people and they get annoyed after a long.
A little bit, yeah. I think the only time they broke out of the fourth wall of that one was Diablo 2, where they actually had the actual cow level. And then you could find, what was it, the Torn that would sit out. That game just got crazy.
Delman in chat, it's The Dares. Look up The Dares, It's Your World. This was a song totally written and produced. It's SOE went pure Disney. They were gonna start their own SOE record label with these guys. I swear, it's pretty awesome. You gotta check it out. And speaking of in-game concerts, WoW wasn't the only thing. U2 performed in Second Life. I was there. I saw the complete live concert of U2. But then again, now YouTube gives out free albums that no one even listens to, so it's U2. But it was there.
I love how you're the only person right now that's dude, I was you two did a whole concert in Second Life and I was there.
It was great. It was epic.
Your list of internet gaming is fantastic because it's well, what got you into EverCast? Kim Possible. I was at the Second Life U2 concert.
Let's just say I'm not an elitist, okay, folks? I'm not an elitist. I'm a general gamer. We'll classify it as that.
I love, if anybody out there thought this show was ever scripted, it's not. This is none of this. This show's far from it. We never discuss what we're gonna. Well, we know what we have the general outline of what we're gonna discuss, but this show especially.
This show, it was our topics tonight are, and those are our topics.
Yep, that's pretty much.
And
it.
that was it.
We're already a half hour into the show. Real quick, because I think we got way out. I don't think even half of us even talked. Oh, what just happened to the cameras? All right.
My bad.
To talk real quick, I really do hope that it's. I rather want it to be about a race that we haven't really got into a lot, or the dwarves. I want it to rather be about the dwarves or be about ogres or something way off left field, something we don't even know about yet. I wanted to see something maybe a little bit new, but
the whale walruses.
Yeah, let's go for it. All right. Jeez. Now, God.
As the whale walruses.
As the whale. Jeez, I'm getting whale walruses. I'm stuck on whale walruses now. This is terrible.
Better than bear butts.
Nothing's better than. Listen, I actually was watching a YouTube video the other day, and somebody was talking. Actually, this will lead into I'll loop this back in. Watch me. I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and a guy was talking about Arcage, and we're gonna talk about Arcage for a quick second. The guy mentioned he's like I hate the PvE in Arcage because it's go collect 10 bear asses. I was like, this son of a this. I'm like, this asshole watched EverCast. He's stealing my bear butts. I wanted to go on YouTube.
Flattus, don't worry. I'm filing an injunction as we speak. It'll be down. All right.
You bear butt stealing mother. I was but I wanted. Right. But I got into a conversation on Twitter about ArcAge, and no, I'm not saying names, but someone said he's like, I hope EverQuest Next. This is the quote was, I hope EverQuest Next is ArcAge plus the AI system, the Storybook system. And I said no. In fact, this is what I said. I will actually I have a sound for this. So hold on. This is what I actually said on Twitter.
No! Please, no! No!
No.
Oh, you got it? You guys actually
It was like on and off, but yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I said. That's
Did you just fart?
No, that was a demon. Ha ha.
No. For some reason, it's cutting
You
off.
got weird farts, bro.
Yeah, quite deep. That's a lot of bass.
Oh no.
Anyways.
Anyway, and I don't want it to be like I want EverQuest Next to be more than that. I don't I don't think ArcAge is fantastic or good in any sense of the word. Really, I think a lot of people are like, well, that it does this thing because of its pricing system or its marketing system, and I was like, yeah, but it keeps you from doing certain things, but it doesn't do everything great. Like, oh, it's got this great crafting system. It doesn't, because the crafting system is still collect X, hit, I want to make 30 of this, click the button. And that's not crafting to me. Like, it doesn't make sense. I'm like, what? Like, oh my god, LOL Flattus, there are 7 quests plus then, oh jeez. So, I mean, I know I'm not the only one. I know Tober, I told Tober not to talk about it because I want Tober to save it for the show. Tober, I know you agree with me. You don't believe in all the ArcAge hype, right?
No. It's like World of Warcraft got a reskin like it did Wildstar. Give it a month and no one will be playing it. It's nothing really new. There's a few fun parts, but there's nothing there to really keep you there. Sure, you got a crafting system, but as you said, it's like get X, do Y, get this. That's it. There's nothing special there. Maybe you got some few fun things, like you can build a boat and ride down a river, down a waterfall. That's fun, but
how many times can you do that?
It's fun for people who still haven't figured out and gotten bored of the theme park formula. If you haven't, it's super fun. It's a blast because it's still kind of a new. It's not just that the content is new; it's that the pattern is new to you. I've been playing MMOs for so long that when I see like point A to point B is so long and you eventually need to get a mount, but you have to just run to get from there, initially. There's no fast travel. It's like, well, on one hand, you're making me have to see the countryside and pass by players. On the other hand, it's just a time sink that is going to take me 10 minutes before I can finish this quest because it takes me that long to run there. I really don't care for that sort of thing. That, especially for a subscription-based game, because then it's literally just wasting your time with fake content.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It did that. Like, that was one of the things I first noticed with ArcAge when I was playing through it. Like, it gave you a mount really early on. Like, it's like, here's your horse. There you go. You got a mount. It's like,
well, the world is giant. Okay, I mean, and mounts are fun. It's kind of like saying, oh, legendary, like Landmark and EverQuest Next are gonna have heroic movement that allow you to sprint and jump and use grapple hooks and stuff like that. Like, if the world's expansive enough, I don't see the problem in delivering a mount early. Now, Rift, I was glad that they held off until like level 20 in the beginning to get a mount, because it
I got the collector side of the mount.
Oh, see, you're a bastard. You're a bastard.
Cheat.
But for me, I had to walk and explore a little bit before I got a mount, and I liked that. But that's because the world wasn't as big. I mean, if we're talking about what EverQuest Next could be, how big the world is in ArcAge, give me a mount right away. Just make sure that I can explore the same way as if I was on foot as in a mount, that I'm not going to miss stuff, that I'm not just going to get an easy mode to the game. Then I'm okay with it, right? And ArcAge is kind of like that. The mount in there doesn't like automatically give you OP speed. It's fun. It even has like the little boost, like you're almost driving a race car a little bit. You can hit your boost and go fast for a little bit, and you're like, what?
Yeah, it does little things, like little different things, which is cool, but to me it's not enough. Like it's just not enough to make it special and make it like stand out. And don't get me wrong, when I say this, I'm not hating on the game. I want the game to be, I never want an MMO to fail. Like, I never wanted any game to fail, really. I like it because people lose their jobs. When something fails, people tend to lose their jobs. So, like, I
like
want
things to be good when they start.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I want the game to be good when it starts, and it got a lot of hype. People liked it, and that's Chewy. Yeah, a lot of people are like, I always say it's Chewy's forehead.
Okay, so look, I set up, just to get this out of the way, I set up the cameras to where it's this little Skype bar that pops up on top of all the channels. So when I accidentally click the window again, it disappears, and I have to click it again to pop it back up. So that's why it kind of goes weird. I gotta stop moving the mouse. Okay.
Yeah, so like, but it's one of the things where it's not for me, and I look past, like, I can't, like, oh, people are like, well, you can be like a pirate, but it was like that runs out eventually, like that runs out, and they're like, people are like, oh, but like the class system's really deep, and it's like, like you can make your own class, but eventually people are gonna be like, well, I found the class that can absolutely like wreck all the other classes, and then they're gonna have to balance everything, so you're gonna have to switch your classes up, and like, so, you know, it's all right now. It's very early, and I think they should add a lot of stuff. And I think the PvE isn't really there for it. Like, and a lot of people are like, well, it's not a PvE game; it's a PvP game, and it's kind of like Eve Light. And I was like, yeah, but it's tab targeting, and it's a lot of things that are just like it's like they went in this direction, but they didn't go past it.
Hold on. I would say EVE is not a PvP game. It's space capitalism. PvP and PvE are just risk-reward factors. I would say, you know, and to that extent, then, you know, I'll just let you continue. Actually,
no, listen. Actually, you were probably on the right track, because a lot of people have been comparing it. They're saying like it's EVE, but fantasy EVE.
Okay,
like,
well, no. Now here's the thing. No, EVE, like I just said, space capitalism. I feel like Arc Age isn't necessarily like, I haven't played it, so I can't say PvP first or PvE first. I would say it has to be a blend of the two. For a game to truly be PvP first, that means most of the advancements, most of what you're collecting for your resources, most of what you're doing to improve is fighting and killing other players, and that's how you get your improvements. It's not kicking over sheeps in the field, it's kicking over players in the head. That's you know, that's a truly PvP oriented game. PlanetSide 2, that's a PvP oriented game. You get a little bit of certs here and there for helping your buddies, repairing them, healing them, keeping them supported, providing intel with the little radar dart thingies. But what gets you cert points? A kill. You kill somebody, you get a cert point, or, you know, 2 people or whatever, depending on the situation. But that's basically, you know, you're getting most of your resources from killing people, from completing things involved with the process of killing people and taking over other bases. So unless a fantasy MMO has that level of emphasis on killing other people and using that for your advancement, it's not a PvP centric game. It's PvP and PvE and, you know, social and RP and Arcade. Honestly, for me, it's first and foremost, it's a freaky character simulator. It's, my goodness, the freaky looking characters you can make with that. Holy balls, like that. I said it recently on another show this week. They took it up another bar and then hit it with they batted it upwards with an ugly stick.
Don't we all like to get a little freaky though every now and then?
It's just awesome.
They added like weird little things, like, because they gave you like the option to do like face paint on the humans, and one of them is the clearly like Heath Ledger's Joker. So
that's cool.
Yeah,
I will say, like, you guys are knocking it. Yes, maybe the art style is a little odd, but I will say that the character creator, like the actual control you had over it, that's fantastic. I really like the control, because like when I place the face tattoo, I can like rotate it and put it exactly where I want instead of scroll through. Instead of here, it's here, and it's just preset. Like, I can actually change all these things and make a cool little character. Yeah. So you got to give it props there, and you got to give it props totally. A lot of the systems that it does to try and make it a sandbox. You know, it has things like marriage in the game. It has the ship combat. It has all these things built into the game where you can really kind of explore. It's an older game too.
Could explore, get married, and do ship combat. It was called Ultima Online.
Yep.
Well, then shame on MMOs for not doing what Ultima Online did. That's what I'll say. All right, that's what I'll say.
Hey, listen. I'll say this. I've logged back and I said it last show. I'm playing Final Fantasy 14 again, and the next patch, or it's already the next patch. they are adding marriage, and Square Enix made one of the big things is like, well, we should allow like same sexes to marry, and Square, like, it was a big battle on the forums, like, you know, people were like, oh, they should listen to Square. Made the choice in the final and said, go ahead, all races and all characters, if you're male, female, everybody can get married. And on top of it, if you do get married, you get a 2-person rideable mount. So, which is so it's like
that's
kind of like a marriage.
cool.
Yeah, so you get like a
cool.
little. So it was like, I need to find someone. I don't care who I marry in game. So Tober, do you want to sign up? Marry me?
It's done. It's done.
Give me a ring.
Yep, ring. No problem. I will do it too. You can wear rings and they show up on your hand in game.
No, that's really.
Yeah, and earrings.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Earrings too. Yep,
I like
everything.
that.
Yeah.
I tried to get married in Age of Conan. I found this nice little lady sitting in the bar, and well, they didn't have marriage in the game, so it didn't go anywhere. But she was topless, so I tried. It was an NPC. It was Age of Conan. Give me a break. Anyways.
It sounds like an episode of The Guild.
Yeah, with the faction rep and Zabu's going with the mermaid.
Zabu, he's like sitting there trying to like gain rep with the topless lady at the bar.
You don't know how many times I've shown up to a guildsmate house and just moved in. So Flattus, I'm coming for you. I'm kidding. I would never do that. No.
You would.
Derailment, absolute derailment. I think, once again, ArcAge, people talk about the after level 30 gameplay once you get into all the deeper systems. But Flattus, you had a critique of like the crafting and stuff, even then, right? You said it's basically just like WoW or just like Rift, where it's just get the components, click it in.
Can you even fail at making something?
I don't think you can, really. I think
there's a lot of games that you can't fail in. Landmark, you can't fail. You can just get like a crappier item, but you can still upgrade it if it's a weapon, right? Yeah, I guess it just depends on your standards.
If you're looking for a 5-slot destruction pick, you get 2 upgrade slots, and it's got no upgrade, no prefix or whatever. Yeah, no, that's a piece of junk.
Well, I could see it now. Legendary's gonna have his like pristine like shop. He's gonna be on like 5th Avenue, and I'm gonna be sitting there at the Walmart selling my junk goods. Come on by, guys. This doesn't have an upgrade slot, but it's only 50 cents.
I only deal in weapons that have seen 250 battles or more.
I mean, like, when we like talk about crafting systems real quick, I mean, you want something more out of a crafting system. I believe in EverQuest Next, like, if crafting is important and if they want it to be an awesome game, I think crafting should be important. I think that the stuff that crafters make should be on par with what we find out in the world, and better. It should be better, and it should take them work to make it, so that way if someone is really good at making something because they take the time and effort and put that in the game to become a crafter, and they sell that on the market to us, and it's like I'll use Tanlin as an example. Tanlin, if Tanlin goes out and he wants to be the master sword, maker of our server, and he goes out and puts the work into it, like, he should have every right to be, that's his game, to be the best crafter of swords in game. And he should have every right to do that. I just don't think that his crafting system should be collect 10 of this ore, X of this tree branch, and then whittle them down to their bars and their handles, and then click, and then you make sword. Like, he should be able to put the work in, sit at a crafting wheel, and like actually, like, if he messes up, it doesn't click at the right thing. Like, make it intricate and make it worthwhile for crafters.
A landmark is the same thing, though. It just has like a place where you can upgrade it after. I mean, it's still just basic. Get the materials, click, and you're done. I mean, you're talking something almost like EverQuest 2. But I will say that a lot of people hated that system. Like, back, you could die at launch by not hitting the buttons. You would literally die. Like, the crafting table would throw like pins and needles at you, would stab you in the forehead, you'd fall dead to the ground. But also,
I got a question though. I just got a question though. If you're in a woodworking shop and you don't if you don't cut the wood right, can you not cut off your fingers and your hand?
Okay, fair enough. What about a forge? Am I gonna stick my hand accidentally in the forge and burn it off?
if you're dumb enough to do it,
it's gonna suck my body in to kill the rest of me along with it.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's cool. No, I do think it's cool in the fact that back when EverQuest 2 was more difficult in its crafting system, like, if you did craft a top item, it meant something. Like, it wasn't easy at all. But they did they wowified it a little bit. They made it a lot easier. You kind of just go through, you can kind of click a couple buttons and you're done. But that's because people had like harsh criticisms of the game. It took too long to craft. It was too difficult. Do you guys think there's a way to do an intricate crafting system without making it too much of a grind, making it too difficult?
I actually do combine the system that I proposed with the system that Codavos proposed, and we're pretty much at like the absolute apex of, new crafting system. He and I both have some really awesome ideas that blending together would really make something that kind of blows all previous systems out of the water, honestly. It's really, really good stuff. I definitely recommend checking out his Crafting 3.0 video, as well as some of the old documents that I put up last year on almost a year ago, actually. A year for some of them, I think, over on EQ Nexus and a couple other places. The one about, in particular, the more intricate, I guess two of them, the intricate crafting system where you have items where you go back and reforge them as they see more battles. You can upgrade them. If it's a weapon that you crafted, you can, you see it later down the road after it's been through a few people's hands in some battles. You can gain some experience after accessing it again, as well as being able to modify it better than anybody else potentially, and upgrade it in special ways. So there's a lot of systems like that where it's not, you don't have throwaway weapons. It's, I've got this iron sword and I've used it for long enough. Okay, I'm ready. I've got the materials. I'm going to get it upgraded to a really nice steel. I'm going to get it tempered. I'm going to get it treated. It is going to be just badass. It is going to be, it's going to hold the edge forever. And then, after they get into some tougher fights and realize, well, maybe it wasn't as good as I thought, but at least it's a good standby until I get enough mithril for a real nice sword. But something that'll still be a functional standby, and potentially, because it's seen more action, it might have other benefits, like being able to get special upgrades because of all the things that it's killed and all the the essence it's collected. So there's a lot of that sort of stuff. But I think one other thing, I guess I'm going to recant on my statement that the best thing should be crafted for one very specific purpose: truly legendary items. There's not 100 of this specific sword and you've got a bunch of people running around with it. There's one of that sword on the server. That's it. If you have it and you die with it and somebody else in the group doesn't pick it up off your corpse and claim it for their own because it'll be bound to whoever gets it, that boss mob is going to claim it, and then they're going to have that legendary sword. And guess what? They became twice as difficult.
I think that would be really cool, and I think that could be tied into that system that you're talking about. For anyone who doesn't know, both of those systems, I believe, are on the Landmark forums. You can search crafting and then maybe type in legendary neuro, and then also type in crafting and Codavos, and they should pop up. But maybe we can get you some links by the end of the show. On break, we'll go look for them for you. But I think it would be awesome if, in games where a boss mob drops something, it would be like Koluthu, Slayer of the Bandits sword. I don't know. I'm terrible at coming up with names of the form. I really was, and I tried to change it last minute. I apologize. But it would be cool if those statuses and the mythicalness of the weapons came from crafted items that were actually used in those battles. So like, I slayed this with this sword, I slayed that with this sword. It was imbued with the magic of this mob, and now the sword itself became legendary, even though I crafted it. That could be really cool stuff, like living items. Is sort of what we're talking about. Items that grow and progress past the point of just the mere system of creation. That could be awesome, especially when a mob picks it up and then it becomes a drop mob and you can see what happened. That would be very cool.
What I would like to see, it would be funsies. It would be like to break it down so that it's both cool for both player, like adventurer, and both crafter, would be something like, let's say as a group we go kill like a dragon and that blood imbues into the weapon, and like you can't do anything with it yet. All it says, like, it adds like a text like covered in such and such blood, or the blood is absorbed into the weapon. But then it takes like a crafter, like a swordsmith or whatever sort of like that goes down that line of dragon blood crafting, and like can like take that weapon and add like certain attributes to it.
That could be awesome.
I was like, I'd blow my mind, be like, yes.
Dude, they could use the shoot, I'm blanking. The big events.
Rally calls.
Rally calls.
Yeah, rallying calls. They could use that to, like, this is a one-time dragon or whatever. So this material is, extremely rare. It's never coming back.
That's true. Now, I will have a caveat to this and say that you need to be careful about balance with these kind of items. Like, if you are going to only have one item that's special on a server, you need to make it feel like the people who don't have the item don't feel bad because of it. Like, you want to have them, have an emotion of want. You want to tantalize them a little bit with that awesome item, and maybe if it's a PvP server, have those people try and kill them to steal the item. But you got to be careful, because we're already seeing this with like good builders versus bad builders. And Landmark, oh, he's better at building. Now I don't want to play the game because I'm discouraged. Oh, I don't have the top sword in the game. I'm discouraged, so I don't want to play now. So you have to kind of, I guess it's cool, go with the same class system that EverQuest Next is kind of talking about, the horizontal progression, open up a new kind of gameplay with the item and not make it just straight up better in all cases. But I don't know, that's going to be difficult, especially we're talking 12 different servers with like thousands and thousands of players being able to create unique items. I don't know. It's doable. It is. Codavos, I haven't seen your crafting system, Legendary. I should review that, but I have seen Codavos's, and it is really awesome. I definitely recommend everyone try and check it out if you haven't seen it yet.
I'm trying to locate a link to mine here.
Oh, sweet. Awesome. Now, we have about 9 minutes left before our break. The break video is... I'll introduce it later, but is there anything else that we wanted to talk about before we went on break? Any other specific topics? Do you guys still have more to say about crafting systems?
Well, actually, I did want to kind of talk about the recent news. The Karen contest is actually wrapped up this week, so we'll be hopefully seeing some of the foundation stuff coming pretty soon here. I'm really excited for it. I'm hoping, honestly, I'm hoping that mine gets in, of course, but I'm hoping that we get really a whole lot of entries, that they're really generous with the amount that they take. We've had so much time to work on it. We've seen so many amazing builds, and maybe not all of them fit the specific requirements for the things that they requested. A lot of these builds people have been working on for over 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And to try to conform to the style guide just to make one small segment versus they've got something that's basically the entire establishment for part of Karen civilization. It's definitely a big deal to be allowed to let those sorts of things in too. So I'm really excited for what we're going to be able to see, what kind of stuff comes through. And of course, this also means that we're moving on to the next contest. We've got the Halloween contest going. I think someone said that wraps up in like 5 days. So if you're going to be building for it, hurry up.
That one's going super quick. And I think you win the the glow in the dark skeleton suit.
Yeah.
Which is kind of awesome. It's kind of awesome. That thing is like, but I was like, where is it so dark in game where your face doesn't show, but just the skeleton suit?
Maybe an ice cave. Some of the ice caves can get pretty dark if there's no light sources in the area. But yeah.
I would run around and like just be like spooky, scary, scary.
I know the words. I'm not afraid.
Yeah, me. I know them too.
I think they had also said they want to do an arena contest before they get on with the next race build.
What? Really?
I don't know if that's actually true or if that was just some of the pain pills talking on Dave Jorgensen's behalf about a month ago. But I think that'd be interesting. I don't know if it would be wise to run one concurrent with the race build or not, but it would be a nice thing to give us a little break and maybe give a couple of weeks off before we start getting into maybe dwarves. By the way, can you guys find the link for that poll? I actually could not find the poll for the dwarves versus ogres vote.
Okay.
It's not up on the EQ Nexus website, or EQ Next rather.
Really?
We can get it on break and we'll post it.
Cool.
I could have sworn I voted. Is voting not open? Did I just open it up on my cell phone browser one day at work and think I voted and didn't vote? Because it's possible. Because I'm pretty sure.
You're just sitting there at work. Yep. Ogres.
Maybe I get distracted on something else and I completely forgot. I thought I voted.
The last one I could find is the religion one, I think.
Man, maybe
the things that you're more interested in.
Oh, that's true. You know what? Maybe I just read the post because they had a post about it at least. Correct? God, this is why I don't do early ballot voting. I have to force myself to go to the booth to make sure I did it.
You're gonna be terrible at politics.
You're lucky that I've met your fiance over Skype and stuff, or else no one would believe you're actually engaged. He just doesn't it's all imaginary to you.
Yeah, right. Welcome to Chewy Land. Welcome to Chewy Land, where everything's made of chewy candy.
Oh,
okay, anyways,
that's
back to the topics. Back to the topics.
That's it, guys.
This is great. So,
well, it's been fun. EverCast has been a fun year, guys. That's it.
Tune in to Stopcast, non-cast, is it?
Non-cast,
where we will continue our discussion. Apparently, yep. We're shutting it down. Flattus coaxed me into taking shots before the show. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, blame it on the bare butts guy. Sure. Sure.
This fool is like, guys, it'd be fun to do. Let's all take shots. And then Tober's like, yeah, let's do it.
And then he comes back and he's like, guys, I don't have any liquor.
Tobin's the first one to run away. Before that even happened, Tobin's like, let's all do hats. Let's all get hats and wear hats.
Yeah.
Tobin runs off to his closet, puts on 70 hats. He comes back looking like Helena.
Left me hanging.
No. Tobin came back looking like Helena Bonham Carter. And he's like, oh, that's not it was.
But wait, Rec actually complimented Tobin, saying that he's much prettier than Helena Bonham Carter. So we said that too. He was like, your hair is so long and flowing, Tobin.
Yeah, damn right it is. Love you, Rec.
Once again, Tamlin and Kylets are not here, so the show is off. Someone said in chat that the show is off rails already, and then someone else said that there were no rails for the show. This is not a theme park show, buddy. This is pure sandbox right here. We are creating our own show on the fly. Oh my gosh. Well, we have still 3 minutes to break. I feel like we should end it now, so we come back in such kind of a good area, but
That sounds like a good idea. And that will give us time to track down these links here.
Yep, sounds wonderful. Well, the break video, if you guys didn't know, Tremel Isaac was the senior art lead for PlanetSide 2, PlanetSide 1, and a couple other SOE titles. He's leaving SOE, and he did a thank you letter video. And I was on Legendary's co-partnered show, Theory Forge, and he decided it would be funny to put my Big Mac gif on there. Well, in the Tremel Isaac video, the thank you letters, they decided to go ahead and feature Legendary a little bit. So I think it's only right that we pay him his due punishment. So
yes, but I love that.
Yeah, but he loves
I would love to be a fit, muscular, tall black man
with a random floating head.
Yeah, that would
you don't hear that every day.
Honestly,
I would love to be. No,
you know what I want to be a tall, muscular black man. You don't hear that every day. And that's what we're ending the show on. Rec, you haven't been here in a while, so why don't you go ahead and camp us out?
Rec.
All right. 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.